Hello, 你好，welcome back，欢迎回来to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger on February 10th, 2021. 2 days from now will be the first day of Chinese New Year, and we are officially going to the year of the metal ox, which can either be a year of construction, a year of reconstruction, a year of development, progress, or a year of massive destruction. It remains to be seen what kind of year we are going to have. But before we get to the first day of the Chinese New Year, the night before Chinese New Year, the New Year's Eve, is actually the highlight of the whole Chinese New Year holiday. Now, Chinese New Year is not just a 1 day affair. For most Chinese people, it's a holiday that will go on for about 10 days, and every day have its different meanings, different things you need to do. But that will be a little bit complicated, so we won't go into that right now. Suffice to say, it is quite involved, and some Chinese people do take that very seriously. Um, if you are not of Chinese culture, just remember that there are some taboos and some rules around this time that you may not be aware of, and that's okay. But it's important. It's good to be a little bit more sensitive to your Oriental friends' feelings and beliefs around this time. For example, even though I am not what you would call a very traditional person, I am usually a little bit sad around Chinese New Year because this is a time for family. This is a time for Chinese people. And here I am stuck in a primarily white uh, nation. I'm in Canada, and so I am among people that don't really know, understand, or care about this tradition. Uh, the only friend, I only have maybe one or two Oriental friends here in Canada, and even they are dealing with their own feelings and depression and stuff like that around this time. It's just not a very good time of the year for those of us who are stuck in a foreign country without our own countrymen and family around us, and all we have is a memory of childhood celebrating Chinese New Year the way it was supposed to be celebrated. So, if you see a Chinese person, no matter if that's Chinese, Taiwanese, Cantonese, around Chinese New Year, it's good to walk up to them and say, "Hi, 新年快乐." And that is Happy New Year, 新年快乐. That's SING, 新年, NIAN means New Year, 新年. And then 快乐, KWAI, 快乐, LE, 乐. It's like French pronunciation, 乐. 新年快乐, 快乐 means happy. So 新年快乐 means Happy New Year. Or you can say 恭喜发财,Gong, 恭喜 SEE, 恭喜 means I wish upon you. 发财, FACHAI means uh, wealth, rich. So 恭喜发财 means I wish upon you greater wealth and greater richness in your life. Those are the two major uh, uh, forms of greeting among my people in Chinese New Year. Hi, 新年快乐,恭喜发财. And that will make them feel just a little bit better. So today, I'm going to walk you guys through a Chinese New Year menu because one big highlight of the New Year is the New Year's Eve feast, when the whole family will come together, and not just the local family, but this is like one of the biggest family reunion of the year. This time of the year in Taiwan, the highways always have traffic jams and a lot of accidents because people from all over the island are trying to get home in time for the New Year's Eve celebration. But no matter if they're working out of town or in a completely different state or province or whatever, all over China, all over Hong Kong, all over Taiwan, family members try to make it home for this one evening of celebration, the New Year's Eve, the Nian Ye, Nian Ye, Nianyea, Nian Ye is a New Year's Eve. They are coming home to enjoy the 年夜饭, which is, well, some of you already know, 饭 means rice or food, 年夜饭, so the New Year's Eve meal. That is very important to Chinese people. So, there are some food items that are required to have uh, during a 年夜饭, during a New Year's Eve celebration. And I'm going to walk you through them and tell you why they're important, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. First, the most important item on a 年夜饭 table is the fish. Usually, this has to be a whole fish with head and tail attached. Doesn't matter how you cook it, but usually have to be a whole fish. I imagine if you want to do it with fish fillet, that's fine too. The reason there has to be fish, and keep in mind, uh, you don't want to finish the fish. There have to be left over. That's very important. Um, Fish in Mandarin is 鱼, 鱼. I know that that is like one of the hardest things for non-Chinese speakers to pronounce. Imagine you are saying 续, like he, she, they, that she, she, but without the sh sound. 鱼, 鱼, that's a fish. Fish symbolizes uh, having plenty of something, having abundance of wealth and uh, a lot of things left over for your enjoyment, because it's the same word as the word 鱼, uh, which can also mean having an abundance of, having a lot of, having a great quantity of. So eating fish on New Year's Eve is a well wish for you having plenty of food, plenty of clothes, plenty of money for this year. The one greeting that linked to 鱼 is called 年年有余, Nian, 年年, every year, 有余, Yue, 年年有余 means have plenty of things every year, have plenty of uh, uh, wealth, plenty of uh, quality stuff every year. And when you eat your fish, like I said, usually it has to be a fish with head and tail attached, because how the fish is positioned on the table is very important in a traditional family. The head should always faces the matriarch or the patriarch, the highest uh, rank in the family. This symbolizes respect, and the tail would face the youngest child in the family. And at the end of the meal, like I say, there have to be leftover, because the whole point of the fish is to symbolize there's plenty of food, plenty of things. So if you finish the whole thing and there's no leftover, that's kind of counterproductive. Um, at the end of the meal, the person who sits at the tail of the fish have to have a drink with the person who sits at the head of the fish. It doesn't have to be alcohol. Traditionally, it is alcohol, but it can be tea, water, juice. They have to have a drink together. They have to toast each other. This is to say that no matter how high their station is or how young they are, they can enjoy their unity together in this family. Even though one is the head of the fish, one is the tail of the fish, because a fish cannot do without its head, a fish cannot do without its tail. So everyone is equally important, everyone is equally valued. The second food item that, of course, is very important on the 年夜饭 table is Chinese dumpling, or aka pot stickers. This is called 水饺, 水饺, SHWAIJOW, 水饺. Uh, why is it so important? Because the shape of the pot sticker or dumpling is like those old Chinese gold nuggets that they used to use as currency. So having those on the table is said to be able to attract a great amount of wealth to your family. And there is a very important uh, custom in cooking your dumpling and pot sticker during your for your 年夜饭. When you're cooking them, you have to be extra careful that you don't break any of them. And that's actually harder than it sounds because a lot of time when you're cooking them, they will break. Why is it so important? Because if you're breaking them, that means you're breaking your gold. You're breaking your gold nuggets. You're breaking your wealth. That means you're cursing yourself. You're going to mess up your fortune for the new year. So sometimes this actually causes conflict in the kitchen when people are preparing the 年夜饭. If the person who's in charge of the pot sticker or dumpling get careless or just happen to break one, they'll get yelled at by the elders in the family because they just brought trouble for the family. A greeting that is often linked with 水饺 or the dumpling or the pot sticker is 招财进宝. 招财进宝. Zhao, J-O-W, Cai, C-H-A-I, means to bring in wealth. Bring in wealth. 招财, 进宝. Jingbow, 进宝 means to bring in treasures. 招财进宝, to bring in wealth and lots of treasure. The third item that is always there on the 年夜饭 table is a 年糕, Niangao, 年糕. And what these are is they are uh, sticky rice cakes. They're cakes like pastries made from Chinese dates, chestnut, rice, and sugar. They're delicious. If you never had them, they're really good. That is one of the things that make me really sad during Chinese New Year because I remember when I was a kid, we would get homemade 年糕, homemade rice cake every Chinese New Year, and I loved those things. And now I'm in Canada. The only way for me to get them is try to find a Chinese bakery that I can buy them from, and usually they charge an arm and a leg and a kidney for these things because they know how important they are to Chinese people around this time of the year. So they rip us off. So 年糕, why is 年糕 important? Because the word 高 is the same word used for the word height or great or tall. So eating 年糕 symbolizes your hoping that the next year will be greater, taller, higher. You'll reach higher station in life than the previous year. So a greeting that is associated with 年糕 is 步步高升，步步高升，Bubugaosheng，步步 every step，高升 go higher means with every step you go higher in life. 步步高升 is a greeting that is associated with 年糕. Next, of course, we have the Tang Yuan, Tong, Tang Yuan, Yuan, Tang Yuan. Uh, these are little sticky rice balls cooked in broth. They're usually sweet. You eat them as dessert, but some people will eat them with salty flavors as well, depending on which part of China you come from. Uh, they look like tapioca balls, and they are made from rice paste. Tangyuan is very important because the word yuan, yuan, is associated with yuanman, yuanman, yuanmon, yuanmon, yuanman means uh, togetherness, completion, uh, union, unity, reunion. So eating tangyuan together as a family means you are united as a family. You love each other. You have that togetherness that family should have. So the greeting or the phrase that's associated with this is 圆圆满满. 圆圆满满 means together we stay, together we are. Next, we have the long life noodle, which is called 长寿面. Chongso 面 长寿面. 长寿 means long life. 面 means noodle. Now, how is this different from normal noodles? Is that when you are making 长寿面, you have to make them longer, thicker than normal noodles, and you cannot cut them prior to cooking them. They have to be the whole noodle has to be one long noodle. You can't cut them because this is supposed to symbolize as long life. So you can imagine that you take a knife and you cut it. Well, this thing's supposed to be long life, and you just cut someone's life short. Okay, after you cook it, of course, then it's okay, you can cut it. But if prior to cooking, it has to be one single noodle, uh, very long, and you cook it either by boiling it or frying it or steaming it, and then you can add meat and vegetable and stuff like that to it. 长寿面, long life noodle, and this is associated with the greeting 长命百岁. 长命百岁 is something you say to the elders of the family. I wish upon you 长命百岁. I wish for you to be 长命百岁. That's Chongming. 长命 means long life, just like 长寿. It's the same thing. 长命 and 长寿 is the same thing. 百岁, Baiswai means for hundreds of years. 长命百岁. I wish you to be live a long time for hundreds of years. 长命百岁. And of course, we can't forget about the spring roll. And this one is interesting because What we think of as a spring roll here in North America, it's actually egg roll. Yeah, some of you are going, WTF? You're telling me we're getting it wrong this whole time. When you go to Vietnamese food and you see that uh, spring roll that's wrapped in a soft wrapping, it's not fried, it's fresh. That is spring roll. When you fry it, it turns into egg roll. That is the distinction between spring roll and egg roll. If it's not fried, it's spring roll. If it's fried, it's egg roll. Of course, nowadays most people don't really know the difference. Most people don't really care. They, if they call it spring roll, it's spring roll. If they call it egg roll, it's egg roll. But that is the true distinction. The spring roll is not fried. The egg roll is fried. So, spring roll. Why is it important to eat spring roll? Because spring rolls look like the old gold bars of gold in the old days. So again, like the pot sticker, the shui jiao, eating spring roll, by the way, is called 春卷, Chwun, 春 means spring, 卷, Juan means roll, spring roll. Uh, so this is where it kind of went wrong uh, too, because a lot of people just went by spring roll. They didn't know you are not supposed to fry these things. They are supposed to be fresh, like spring, you know. Okay, so spring roll. Why is it important? Because it looked like the bars of gold in the old days. So eating them symbolizes you have bars of gold at home. Last but not least, it's important to eat some fruit after eating all this good stuff. And the fruit you want to eat are oranges and tangerines, partly because they have the right coloration um, to be very cheerful for New Year, but also because the Mandarin for both orange and tangerine is Cheng, 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 uh, which is the same word used for success. So eating cheng, eating orange and tangerine is like bringing success onto yourself. And the phrase that is associated with that is, I wish for you to 马到成功, 马到, Madao means wherever you ride your horse. Remember, this came from the old days. People rode horses back then. Wherever you ride your horse, 成功, Cheng, means success. Means success will follow wherever you ride your horse. 马到成功 means success will follow you around wherever you go. There are a lot more about food and Chinese New Year, hundreds and hundreds of different traditions and uh, uh, greetings and food, legends, stories. Definitely a lot more than I can explain to you in one episode. But I hope uh, what I have shown you today is enough to give you a glimpse into my culture and this very special time of my people. Thank you for checking out today's Wisdom Wednesday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday. For now, have a good night and 再见. Oh, yeah, and 新年快乐 and 恭喜发财，再见。